You wake up and for a second there is nothing. No thoughts yet. No pressure yet. Just silence. And then it starts. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just familiar. That feeling that you are already behind. Even though you just opened your eyes. You lie there a little longer than you should. Not because you are tired, but because starting feels heavier than staying still. And in that stillness, your mind begins to move before your body does. Everything you didn't do yesterday comes back first. Not as memories, as weight. You reach for your phone without thinking. Not because you decided to, but because it's easier than facing the quiet. A quick check. Just a second. Just to wake up properly. But that second becomes something else. Time starts slipping in small pieces. One scroll. One video. One distraction that doesn't feel like a choice. And suddenly you are not in the morning anymore. You are inside it, but not controlling it. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you already know where this is going. Because it's not the first time. You tell yourself you will start soon. After this. After that. After you feel ready. But ready never really arrives in a way you recognize. So you delay it. And again. And what looks like a normal day from the outside is actually something quieter on the inside. A series of small exits. From discomfort. From effort. From responsibility. Not in one big moment. But in hundreds of invisible ones. You don't notice it at first. Because nothing is collapsing. Nothing is obviously wrong. Life is still moving. But you are not really moving with it. You start noticing patterns. You promise yourself things at night. And forget them in the morning. You feel clear for a moment. Then lose that clarity in noise. You start tasks. But rarely finish them the way you intended. And every time it happens you explain it to yourself in a new way. I was tired. I was distracted. I just need a better day tomorrow. And tomorrow always feels like it's just one adjustment away from fixing everything. But it never quite arrives. Not because you don't care. But because the system you are stuck in is stronger than the intention you keep rebuilding inside it. And slowly, without noticing, something shifts. You stop trusting your own decisions. Not completely. Just slightly. You start doubting your consistency. Your focus. Your discipline. And that doubt becomes part of the pattern too. Because once you stop trusting yourself, it becomes easier to delay again. To wait. To avoid. To reset without changing anything. And the cycle continues. Not because you are lazy. Not because you are incapable. But because comfort has learned your timing. Distraction has learned your attention. And delay has learned your excuses. And they don't fight you. They just wait for you to choose them again. But here's the truth. What keeps this cycle alive is not failure. It is negotiation. The constant internal conversation. Just a bit later. I'll do it when I feel more ready. One more break won't hurt. And each time you say that, you are not just delaying an action. You are reinforcing a pattern. Not a dramatic one. A quiet one. One that becomes invisible because it feels normal. And that is what makes it powerful. Because nothing about it feels like a crisis. Feels like life. But this is where the turning point exists. Not in motivation. Not in a sudden burst of energy. Not in a perfect morning routine or a new system. But in something much quieter. A shift in identity. Because the cycle does not break when you try harder. It breaks when you stop seeing yourself as someone who has to negotiate with their own life. When you stop asking, do I feel like it? And start recognizing, this is who I am choosing to be right now. Discipline is not punishment. It is not pressure. It is not forcing yourself into suffering. It is clarity. It is the removal of internal debate. It is deciding that your attention is not something to be constantly traded away for comfort. Because comfort always feels harmless in the moment. But it costs more than effort ever does. Comfort takes your direction. It takes your momentum. It takes the version of you that exists only when you act, not when you think about acting. And discipline gives that back. Not all at once. Not dramatically. but in small moments where you stop leaving yourself for later. Where you stop waiting for a better feeling. Where you move even when nothing inside you is pushing you forward. And over time something changes. Not your circumstances first, but your relationship with yourself. You stop being someone who constantly resets. And start becoming someone who continues. Even slowly. Even imperfectly. Even without certainty. Because the real difference was never between people who succeed and people who fail. It was between people who stay inside the cycle. And people who eventually stop agreeing with it. And right now the cycle is still familiar. Still easy to fall back into. Still waiting for the next moment you decide to delay just one more time. But there is also another moment. Smaller. Quieter. Less noticeable. The moment where you don't fully change your life. But you stop repeating the same choice you always make. And the question is not whether you understand the cycle. You already do. The question is whether you are still willing to keep participating in it.